Yes. What is it about? Fit 22 is the biggest difference is that
Eddie, you've spoken to so many banking heads in industry in Malaysia. How is he like? This week you spoke to RHB banking head.
Yeah,
So
Dr.
how is he
Karusali.
like? Yeah.
He's interesting. The thing is, we've been trying to get him for an interview for quite a long time, and he's someone who's been quite quiet, and he actually hasn't spoken to anyone since late 2015. That's what I was told, on a one-on-one basis. He does press conferences and all,
So we are
but
quite
he
lucky
hasn't
then.
done. Yeah, so it was a good thing that we got this interview, and I was surprised. He's very articulate. He was very candid. And they have a new plan now to take them forward to 2020. So that's what he was focusing on, and that's what he spoke to us about.
RHB Banking Group has been talking about overseas expansion since 4 years ago. They had this plan called Ignite 2017.
Yes.
But obviously their plan didn't quite work, right? Because they plan to get about 20% profit contribution from overseas.
Yes.
So what did he say about the new plan?
Yeah, that's the thing. Ignite 2017, they were banking a lot on overseas expansion and deriving a lot of their income from the outside markets. But so this new plan marked a huge shift from that. And they didn't quite achieve that key target from 2017. So by the time 2017 rolled around, they had expected 10% contribution of profit from overseas, and it was a negative contribution, in fact. But as he pointed out, it was not really their fault. It was about the markets, and they had also made some investments and gave out loans relating to the oil and gas sector in Singapore, and that took a toll on their overseas.
So Eddie, they came up with a new plan called Fit 22, right? What is this about?
Fit 22, the biggest difference with Fit 22 and Ignite 2017 is the focus at home. They're shifting their focus to the Malaysian market, and what they're trying to do is they're going for the affluent segment, and for them, they define affluent as their customers with assets under management of 300,000 ringgit and above, and particularly on the SME market. And there's a couple of other things as well. They're also focusing on the mid caps and the large caps, but it largely revolves around SME. There is a strong focus on SME. So then the question is,
banking right now has the largest market share in mid cap segment.
yes, they've grown that market share. That's the thing I was about to tell you, that a lot of the other banks are also focusing on SME.
Especially public bank.
So public bank is quite entrenched in that space. So is Alliance Bank, and then we've seen that M-Bank is actually also counting on the SME as a growth driver for them. Maybank too, CIMB too. So
what are things that they would do differently compared with other peers if they want to focus?
They've decided that they're going to build, what their differentiator is that they're going to build a whole ecosystem around the SME space, and they're hoping that will help. And the other big thing about Fit 22 is they're going big on digital. Yeah, so what's interesting about RHB also actually is that they took us on a tour of their new digital center. You know how RHB is on Jalan Tun Razak? So opposite the building there is a building called Menara AA, and they've taken up the entire 8th floor space there, and that's where they're going to do all their digital initiatives, as well as whatever they carry out relating to digital, it's going to be run from there. It was a very interesting office. It looked very Google-esque, and you have all these young people there buzzing about, doing things, and the whole idea is to do things quickly in a more agile way. He kept using the word agile. Yeah.
So, but even though Dato' Karusali talked about Fit 22 at length, right, a lot of analysts, they are not convinced. They don't really think that this is the way for the bank to moving forward. The sort of thing. Esther spoke to a few analysts in the market.
Yes.
Why are they not convinced?
I wouldn't say they're not convinced. They're just a little lukewarm because, remember I was telling you, a lot of the banks seem to be placing their focus on the SME market. So there's a reservation, I guess. It's like, what are you going to be doing that's so different, that's going to be getting all the SME customers? But at the end of the day, also, there's the focus on digital, and they're wondering, how soon can this trickle down to your earnings? So there's a bit they're holding out and they're waiting to see. That's it. Most analysts have a buy call.
Yeah,
on
correct.
it.
I think because the PE ratio is still considered one of
Yes.
the lowest if you
Yes.
compare with other big banks.
Yes, that's true.
Dr. Khairul Saleh talked about scale is very important for the banking sector, but they're not looking to expand to do M&A in the next 5 years. So how
Yes.
are they going to scale if they are not going to do M&A?
Yeah, so he recognizes that scale is very important for a bank. But they think that instead of M&A, the way they can do it is to focus on doing things in a more agile way, do things faster to market, increase productivity, increase focus on customers, and it's a whole culture change that he's trying to drive throughout the organization. And that's why he's going on about agile. Yeah, so that's what they're counting on, and that's what people are looking at them to see if they can deliver.
For more on the stories, pick up a copy of The Edge Weekly at all good newsstands.